The late afternoon sun glinted off Mark's newly polished car. It was his pride and joy, a black sedan he had spent years saving for. Every inch of it gleamed as he meticulously buffed out smudges, lost in the satisfaction of seeing his hard work shine. Nearby, his 4-year-old son Ethan played on the gravel driveway, giggling as he ran his tiny hands through the stones. "Daddy, I'm playing," he called out, his voice full of joy. Mark glanced at him briefly, smiling. "That's great, buddy. Just don't come near the car, okay?" His tone was firm but distracted. His focus remained fixed on his prized possession. Moments later, a scratching noise jolted him. Mark turned, his chest tightening as he saw Ethan standing beside the car, a small stone clutched in his hand. The car door was covered in deep, jagged lines. "Ethan! What have you done?" Mark shouted, his voice shaking with anger. He stormed over, grabbed Ethan's small hand, and in a blind rage, struck it hard. Ethan cried out, dropping the stone as tears streamed down his face. That night, they rushed to the hospital. Mark paced the waiting room, his heart heavy with regret. The doctor emerged, his expression grave. "I'm sorry, but we couldn't save his finger. The damage was too severe." Mark felt the air leave his lungs as he stepped into Ethan's hospital room. His son lay there, his small hand wrapped in bandages. Ethan's tearful eyes met his father's, his voice barely a whisper. "Daddy, when will my finger grow back?" Mark's heart shattered. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came. Guilt choked him, drowning out his thoughts. Later that night, Mark returned home, the silence unbearable. His gaze fell on the car, the scratches glaring under the moonlight. Consumed by anguish, he kicked the car door, his frustration boiling over. Then he saw it. Etched into the paint, next to the scratches, were the words, "Love you, Dad." Mark fell to his knees, sobbing. Ethan hadn't meant to harm the car. He had only wanted to express his love. The car, once his pride, now stood as a monument to his failure. Mark vowed to never let his anger outweigh his love again. But the cost of that lesson? It would haunt him forever.